Hello NXCAM programmer. Mirror and transform are two powerful commands that let you reuse toolpaths across repeated or symmetrical geometry. We'll select an operation, right click, Object, Mirror. We'll select a reasonable plane. Notice the location, Program and Geometry. Advised is to select Same as Source, as well as path settings, maintain cut direction and maintain cut angle. Finally, generate toolpath. If this box is unchecked, the toolpath doesn't generate. Select OK. A cool thing about mirrors is if you change an operation parameter in the mirrored copy, it becomes an independent parameter, while all of the other parameters will remain associative, and the source operation won't be affected. So, I understand that my flute length is short and I might get yelled at, but let's hang on. Let me change the z-depth offset in the mirrored operation to 3. Okay. Left view. We have a distinct depth difference. So, top view, original operation. Let's add a dramatic amount of wall stock. Generate. Oh, here I am again. There we are. Much smaller rectangle, right? Generate. Here I am about the flute length again, excuse me. Once again, much smaller rectangle. Left view. The depths. What do we have? Z13.5. Z15.5. Our periphery offset kept, and our depth offset added to the copy also kept. So, we know the spacing of these 3 holes, and we want to use one drilling operation to get all 3 of them. So we'll right click, Object, Transform. Whenever we're just transforming one hole or one object in one vector, the translate type is simple to use. So our motion will be delta, and it can also go, from a point to a point. I know that the distance is this, and in our result we see we have copy. When an object is copied in NX, a new independent object is created with the same properties and attributes as the original, but exists as a separate entity, non-associative. When an operation is instanced, any changes to the original object will affect the operation. Instances. So we'll do 3. Oh, looks like I should have done 2. Excuse me. So there they are. Now, what if we want to use one array command to do this entire pattern? Because we have 2 vectors, it's simpler to use a pattern if it exists, and this will be a rectangular array. So the reference point will be the center of the array, as will the origin. So we're going to do 3 on X, 3 on Y. We have our spacing on X and our spacing on Y, 0 degree array angle, and whatever you like here. Notice I created the extra one in the middle just as a consequence of what I did. Just got to delete it. Okay, so how about these ovals? A tempting option to use is the circular array. However, the circular array will not adjust the orientation. It will simply just array this orientation all throughout. That's what it'll do. So we'll have to use rotate about a point or a line. I'm just going to say a point. Our point will be the center of the feature. And then, we have 4 objects, 90 degrees. You can also just count your objects and, do that. So we're going to do 3 instances. Okay. So there is all of our ovals. So with just these 3 techniques, we can program this part in a hurry. When we're using mirrored and transformed operations, we need to be cautious. Let's look at an example why. So here I've created a cavity mill operation. This cavity mill operation's containment is set to use 3D, so it perceives the volume of stock that's present in the part. So this workpiece, you can notice the outlines here. This pocket has significantly less stock than this pocket, which is just bounded. So if I take this cavity mill, which has all of the all of the levels that it needs to maintain its radial and axial depth of cut, and I drag it into this mill area over here, I have less toolpath, right? Because there was just less stock. Now, the caution. If I'm not being super aware of the stock and all of these other little things that we know as CAM programmers can get us, and I'm just flying through this part and using transform to get the job done, I could cause a mistake. So we'll set this transformation type to CSys to CSys. The from point will be the center of the circle here, with Y going that way, and then we will place it on that center of circle, and we'll rotate Y and select OK. So I made a bunch of instances, but notice the toolpath. It does not sense the volume of blank. So in this instance now, whenever we're making these instance paths and we're just doing a really great job, well, here's an instance where we probably where we probably break a tool and create a situation that we don't like. So that's just one of the things to keep out for whenever you're using transforms and mirrors. And I encourage you to, check out the documentation, see what sort of parameters work with what and how things interact, through copy, through transform, all of the different things. Additionally, I want to caution you on ever transforming or mirroring a previously transformed or mirrored operation. In a lot of cases, this is possible and you will be able to do it. And if you are interested in that sort of thing, I just urge you to use caution in doing it.